What is up, guys? I'm back again, and the people have spoken, and today we're breaking down all the new data found in this season's update, which characters look most likely to arrive next season, and who's getting the next skill set. Quick preface, none of this is confirmed, all data mine info is subject to change, so take it with a grain of salt, but with that said, let's jump into it. First, some quick context on leaks and data mines. A lot of players started discrediting data miners after Jiro and Tokiyami weren't revealed this season, but there's more to it than that. In the past seasons, predicting the next release was easier because the amount of data for one character was way higher than the rest. For example, in season 10, Monoma clearly had far more files than the others, and another sign was voice lines being added early like we saw for Nejire in season 7, before she dropped in season 8. These weren't wild guesses, there were clear indicators. But in season 11, a massive data purge wiped unreleased content, and when it was added back in season 12, the counts were way smaller. Characters with over 1,000 files dropped to under 100, and that was a red flag, and predictions around Jiro and Tokiyami were based on what was left visible, but I warned then that the devs could pull a fast one, and sure enough, we got Prime All for One and One for All Deku instead. Data miners did know about these new characters earlier after finding IDs for characters 114, 115, 200, 201, and 202 in season 11. At first, there was speculation about them possibly being vigilante characters, but once models were layered, it was revealed 202 was another Deku, 201 was Young All for One, 200 was Armored All Might, and 115 was Lady Nagant. Only character 114 lacked a skeleton until this season, and the current theory about who that is will surprise you. The only reason these characters were able to be expedited is because My Hero's All's Justice is being developed by the same studio, and assets are clearly being shared, which is a big win for My Hero Ultra Rumble because it helps them catch up to the anime, which is something players have wanted for a long time. But again, I just wanted to preface all of the new info with that context so that there's no confusion about why this new info is being treated as credible information. This season, we found new data that suggests Armored All Might, Lady Nagant, and a new Shigaraki skill set are up next. One for All Deku has voice lines interacting with Armored All Might and Lady Nagant, and Young All for One interacts with Armored All Might. This could point to a second double character release to end the year, but one, we've never seen that happen in the past, so that would be a huge change from what they've done in the past. But earlier this year, they did start a new trend of releasing 2 quirk sets in a season consistently, with season 11 and season 12 both dropping 2 instead of the standard 1 along with a new character. So it is possible, but I'm not ready to jump off the porch with that one just yet. But we did just get a new trailer for My Hero All's Justice yesterday that shows off both of these characters, so it's no coincidence that they're both in development currently for Ultra Rumble and could be released as early as next season. Armored All Might looks amazing in game, and because his attacks are all based on the quirks of everyone in Class 1A, that gives the devs a lot to work with, and with One for All Deku and Young All for One setting a new standard for new character attacks and special actions having dual functions, I would expect them to have one of the most impressive kits in the game, and Lady Nagant will definitely introduce one of the most unique playstyles in the game, with the potential to be one of the most OP characters ever introduced, just based on her ability to do a ton of damage at long range. For Shigaraki, I'm curious to see what stage of his evolution they'll pull from because Assault Shigaraki felt pretty made up. But now they could pull from his awakening fight against Endeavor or his battle with Stars and Stripes. Since this is just a skill set and not a variant, it won't have a new model, so I expect new quirk attacks, but probably not on the same level as One for All Deku or Young All for One, but you never know since the devs are just full of surprises these days. There's also new data for Bakugo and Shoto skill sets. These will obviously be based on Shoto's new Phosphorus abilities and Bakugo's quirk evolution we saw last season. And if you've been following My Hero All's Justice, then you've gotten to see some of what these new attacks could look like in Ultra Rumble. So I'm definitely excited that these are in the works, and hopefully we can see either a new skill set or a variant for Dabi, because Strike Dabi is not looking great in the current meta. Going back to character 114, they did add a skeleton in the game for him this season, and when you throw Deku's model on top of it, this is the result, and currently there are a few theories about who this could be, with the first being ReDestro. I can see it slightly with the head and the mouth, but I'm not 100% sold. Another theory is that this could ultimately be Best Jeanist, who we also just saw make his debut in My Hero All's Justice. So they obviously have a model for him, which strengthens his case, as well as the neck being a bit longer than normal, which will obviously be covered by his outfit. But there's a third theory about who this could be, and that's Ayama from Class 1A. And I won't lie to you guys, I can definitely see it, and it does kind of line up with his new design we see in All's Justice. If I had to put them in order, I'd say I'm most convinced it could be Ayama, then best Jeanist, and I'm least convinced that it's actually ReDestro, although I think he would probably be the most exciting to see added of the three, because he would bring a new villain to the game, and he seemingly came out of nowhere. But you guys let me know who looks most likely to you. I'll dive more into this in a separate video, but they did remove data for a lot of unreleased characters, and I'll share my thoughts on what I think that could mean in that video. But a few notable names who still have relevant data found in the files are Tokiyami, Stain, Gentle Criminal, and Mirko, who also just was revealed in the latest All's Justice trailer. So if I had to take a guess, I say while none of them look to be in the immediate pipeline, I do believe they're planned releases for the 2026 roadmap overall, but we'll learn more as the seasons progress. For season 14, I say Armor All Might looks to have the strongest case so far, with Shigaraki likely tagging along with him, like we're getting with Young All For One and Deku. And if we do get something extra next season, it looks to be Lady Nagant if they do decide on a second double character release. But if they go back to releasing 2 skill sets, then the data currently suggests we could see the Bakugo skill set release. Aizawa does currently have a skill set in the pipeline, but it looks as if Shigaraki, Bakugo, and Shoto's skill sets are being given top priority, so there's no indication of when we could see his new skill set release. But I would assume he's in the same boat as Tokiyami and the rest, where he'll arrive at some point in 2026. But there you have it, Armored All Might, Lady Nagant, a mystery character, and at least 3 new skill sets in the pipeline. Now I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about the new direction for releases, and which characters are you hoping to see one day in Ultra Rumble? Let me know down below, and make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my next ones. Thanks for watching as always, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.